Well, Broncos country, we got a lot of news for you guys today, man. Hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome back to the channel. The Broncos are linked to two of the top free agent running backs available in free agency. There's a lot of rumors, and it is rumor season, as we know. So we're going to break those two guys down, talk about are they good fits here for Denver. I really do believe one or both certainly could be a good fit. And in other news, too, the Broncos are now, the reports are coming out, not so surprising. But as we get a little bit more clarity on the Saints head coaching situation, it doesn't look like it's going to be Darren Rizzi. Obviously, Kellen Moore is the favorite, but he can't sign until after the Super Bowl. So it looks like Darren Rizzi, one of, if not the best special teams coordinator, is going to be available for the Denver Broncos to hire. So it's a huge upgrade there, and looking forward to seeing, the rest of the coaching staff and how we kind of build it out. We still have a few different assistants missing. And we'll have the news here while we got it. So hit that subscribe button, guys. Like the video if you love Denver sports, NFL draft content. We got it all. I got a lot of great stuff that I'm excited coming down the pipeline. All right. So first and foremost, let's get right to it, guys. So one of the landing spots that we're going to be speaking about here, and the Broncos have really been linked to on a lot of different websites, is Rico Dowdle. The Broncos are termed an ideal landing spot for running back Rico Dowdle. He's one of the top backs to hit the free agent market. And just a little bit about Rico Dowdle. He's somebody that, he's good for him in a sense of, he really finally started to find his footing this year in Dallas. He finally got opportunities based off of injury to be able to, finally get a lot of snaps and, become a workhorse and show what he can do in his fourth season. And as you guys can see, he had 15 starts. He had 235 carries, ran for over 1,000 yards, 1,079 yards with a really impressive 4.6 yards per carry average, and 2 touchdowns. But he also added 3 touchdowns as a pass catcher, 39 catches, and 249 yards. And what that does is, if you bring it over here to the PFF grades for what it's worth for y'all PFF lovers, he was really impressive. His yards per attempt at 14.6 was 13th overall. Pretty solid, considering all the different running backs that are, being compared to here. 235 carries, the 1,079 yards, like we talked about, is good. 3 fumbles in that time. Obviously, that's a career high, but this is the first year that he's really had that kind of a workload. And he still gave pretty decent production in the pass game with 39 catches, 249 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. Now, what's impressive about him to me is that the fact that he's at 26 10-plus yard runs, 26 of them. That's about 21 more than what the Broncos running backs had this year. So, well, not really. It's about 18 more, but still very impressive. And eight forced missed tackles. Listen, I watched this guy play yesterday. He's a pretty damn impressive player. I'm not going to lie to you. Very underrated. I don't know if it's just the fact that he played for the Cowboys and people are haters, or if the fact that his name is Rico Dowdle, someone that sounds like he's gonna, working at a taco food truck or something. But he's a pretty damn good player, super well-rounded, got really great vision, and say whatever you want, he's an upgrade over any running back that we have on this team. When's the last time we've had a running back with, over 1,000 yards? When's the last time we've seen a running back get that many carries and have that kind of an average? So he would be a very big upgrade, and someone that I am truly a big fan of the Broncos looking at to sign, because then they can bring somebody else in via the draft to really round out that room. And I like it. I think, make it really good. But he's a veteran. He's solid. You know what to expect. And we already know Sean Payton likes that. So I'm a big fan of that signing. Ain't no doubt about it. All right. Another person here that's been talked about a lot in terms of a ideal fit for the Denver Broncos is none other than Aaron Jones. Now, listen, Aaron Jones has always been one of my favorite running backs in the NFL. I'm a big fan of Aaron Jones. He was 30 years old last year. That's kind of the big fall off, but he was solid. He had over 1,100 yards last year with the Vikings. And when you talk about, like it says in this article here, the Broncos promised to take a measured but potentially aggressive approach. This kind of fits that bill, right? In terms of the skill set that we know that Aaron Jones can do, it fits super well with someone like Sean Payton. He can handle 15-plus touches a game in both the running and the pass game. He's a good runner between the tackles, but he's also really good catch out of the backfield. So from a skill set standpoint, he works. Now, I have a lot of concerns, right? He is 30 years old. He'll be 31 this year. And even though he still had 255 carries, 1138 rush yards, 5 touchdowns, he also had 51 catches for 408 yards and 2 touchdowns. So extremely impressive player, obviously. And the fact that he did it when he was 30 years old is great. He's someone that's known to have a really good work ethic, to take care of his body. And he was kind of in a backfield for a lot of his time in Green Bay as well with A.J. Dillon. So I think that helps kind of elongate their career. But his injury history is definitely concerning, right? Yes, he played 15 games this year, but he also was constantly on the injury report. The year before, in his last year, in 2023, in his last year in Green Bay, he missed quite a bit of time with ankle and knee injuries. So I don't know how good I feel about somebody like Aaron Jones, but he also does make a ton of sense because he's probably going to be, quite a bit cheaper, I'd say, than Rico Dowdle, surprisingly. So you don't have to necessarily pay too much for someone like him. You could do a 1 or 2 year deal, and you can still, see what you got in someone like an Audric Estime and still be able to potentially take some of these younger running backs. But, 31 years old versus Rico Dowdle, who's going to be 27. I kind of tend to prefer Rico, but Aaron Jones would be somebody that makes a lot of sense. And I think he adds a lot of really good things to the locker room too. So I want to know what you guys think below in the comments in terms of what's your choice when it comes to the running backs, right? And looking at the PFF grades, they grade out very similarly, Aaron Jones versus Rico Dowdle. Aaron Jones, obviously a higher grade in the receiving. That's kind of what he's always done. That's his MO. And, 255 carries, 1,131 yards. Their averages are roughly the same. Aaron Jones did have a fumbling problem. He did struggle with fumbles this upcoming season, this last season, and I think throughout his career to an extent. But 25 runs of 10-plus yards. But like I said, he can add a really nice dimension to the pass game as well. So he can be the immediate guy that you bring into Denver. This is where he would make sense, and he's your immediate third down back, right? Let's say you were to draft, one of these running backs in the draft, whoever it might be. If it's like a Caleb Johnson or Marion Hampton, Ashton Genty type of back, that's, someone that can be a workhorse, a bigger guy, run between the tackles. He could be your first, second down back. Aaron Jones can be an unbelievable third down back in that role, but he could also be the full-time guy as well. So he gives you a little bit of versatility in terms of how does the running back room shape up. So now that I really think about it, we kind of talk through it. I think that there's probably a higher chance that we end up going for somebody like an Aaron Jones because of the unique skill set that he brings. But we'll see. I want to know what you guys' preferences below. For me personally, I like the idea of bringing in Rico Dowdle. I like the youth. I like the fact that I feel like an ascending player, so you can get really good value for the money that you're ultimately going to spend for him. And he's just a really good piece, an immediate upgrade to really anybody that you have in that room right off the bat. He's solid at pass protection too. And he can work well in tandem or as a workhorse back, depending on who the other running backs in that room end up being. So I like it, but either way, both guys present a nice win-win situation for the Broncos to where they don't have to go into the 2025 NFL draft with any major holes, at least at the running back position. So I'd like to know what you guys think below. Lastly, guys, we had talked about it. Darren Rizzi, he is expected to take the job per Ian Rappaport, per, Mike Kliss was talking about it kind of in the past as well. But let me tell you guys something about this signing, right? The firing of Ben Kotwika was a little bit surprising, to say the least, to an extent. But it wasn't when you realize that Darren Rizzi was going to be an option. This guy is without a doubt a top tier, if not the top special teams coordinator in the NFL. He was the highest paid previously. I expect for him to continue that. He might even take on like an assistant head coach role or some additional title when he comes here to Denver, if this ends up coming through. So it says here, Ian Rappaport, as the Saints zero in on Kellen Moore, slated to have another conversation with him after the Super Bowl, interim coach Darren Rizzi is likely to become the Broncos' new special teams coordinator. Back with Sean Payton, and a very important hire. Ain't no doubt about it. It's a huge, huge hire for the team. The guys just constantly had some of the best units. I'd expect for him to maybe even look into bringing the assistant special teams coach that they have there as well. since we need one. So we might just take the whole staff. But he was really good actually as the interim head coach. His players loved him. Guys like Cam Jordan, guys like Alvin Kamara were saying, we want Darren Rizzi to be the head coach. Well, it doesn't look like they're going to listen to them, but that speaks volumes on the kind of coach that he is. So I love it, and I can't wait to see how the rest of this coaching staff fills out. But if Darren Rizzi is indeed the guy that we ultimately sign, he is a slam dunk hire and a very, very big upgrade. And very good news for Broncos country, because there's some people out there panicking that, oh, we're losing some coaches. Well, we lost one, but we hella upgraded on this one. So I'm a big fan of that. Let me know below, guys. What do y'all think about Aaron Jones or Rico Dowdle? Do you have a preference between either one? Do you prefer somebody else? Do you prefer neither? How do you want to go about doing it? Let me know below. I'm curious to find out. Until next time, y'all be sure to spend time with those that you love the most. Go Broncos, baby, and peace out.